All right, and we're live. What's going
All
on, everybody?
right, what's up,
You know
everybody?
what this is? This is the Vault Talk. I'm Mark Perez. We got Nando and we got Zio in the building. And we're here. We're going to talk about some fighting games. Uh, let's just start off, I guess, with like our favorite. Like, who you would probably say would be your favorite character. Like, it doesn't have to be anything specific, any fighting game in particular. Just like who you would say your favorite is. And whoa, we just got a newcomer into the stream. We got Nico Gradowski.
I'm late. I'm late.
We are live, so don't say anything too crazy.
Okay.
What's up?
What's going on, young man?
Hey, man. So you already know the drill, man. We're gonna talk about some of our like favorite video game fighters, and
Yes, sir.
uh, basically like I was just gonna we're just gonna go around real quick. So I would say like overall, if I would just say one right off the top of my head, Eddie Gordo from Tekken.
Mine,
Just because.
You said
Oh,
Goro?
go ahead. Eddie Gordo.
Oh,
mine
okay.
would have to be Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. They got a lot of good Dragon Ball Z fighting games.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, what would you say, Ogre?
See,
All right, so-
technically, with that said, I'd have to go with
Old school
Technically.
PlayStation game would be War of the Monsters, and from that there's a monkey, and his name was Kongar. I'd go with that.
Oh,
It's
never
the
played
old
that.
school PS2 game.
what is it called?
It's called War of the Monsters.
War of the Monster.
I highly recommend you check it out. Anyone?
I will definitely. And who did you say was yours, Zio?
technically, I'd have to say mine is Link, but that's just because
Link.
Legend of Zelda is my favorite game series as a whole, and since Link is in Super Smash Bros., I would count him as my favorite. But I have like different favorites for different reasons, different situations.
Yeah.
Because outside of that, again, I'd have to go with like we spoke about it before. I am a fan of Sub-Zero for his
Yeah.
for he and his brother's story, I guess I should say, for Mortal Kombat. Although I prefer playing with Scorpion for Mortal Kombat. So like when I say favorite, I have to use that word loosely.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I was just gonna say that because, like, you can't compare, say, Sub-Zero and who I just said, Eddie Gordo. Like, they're two completely different games. Like, for one, you got one guy that he's just strictly a fighter, and then the other dude he's a wizard. You know, he could freeze you and then chop your
Yeah.
head off. You know, like they're two totally different games, even though they're fighting games, just totally different styles of play. So, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's to really break down like the ultimate like video game character for fighting is just it's really hard, and honestly, probably like insane to even think about because there's like I said, there's just so many different styles. But
Yeah, well, and I mean, I guess
yeah.
it's like based on like how the game is made too. Because I mean, if every single one of them were like to actually be paired into an actual game, like some would kill others instantly. You know what I mean? So that's like really hard to determine. You know, like I guess it just comes down to preference, really. Because I mean, a lot of people like different types of fighters. Like some people like Street Fighter type fighters, and then other people like Super Smash Brothers. Like me personally, like I said, I like a lot of surprisingly anime-based fighting games, mainly like Dragon Ball Z, because they have like a very similar. Oh, he just dipped out.
Yeah, his
But
connection
yeah,
was probably bad. If he comes back, we'll let him in.
yeah, no, definitely. But I guess it would
Yeah.
just come down to preference, you know.
Right.
So just kind of wrapping that up there.
Yeah. Uh,
What type of fighters do you like, Mark? Do you like more like Street Fighter? Do you like Super Smash Brothers, Mortal Kombat?
well, you see, I've always been a more of a Mortal Kombat player.
Mm-hmm.
But I like more like combo based ones
Uh-huh.
because for me, Street Fighter, for instance, it's more of a button masher. You
Yeah.
can't really. I mean, there are combos and stuff, but as far as like just actually being able to like strategize, I guess, uh, Tekken and Mortal Kombat for sure.
Hmm.
Just because for me, like it's just I know the combinations better, I guess.
Yeah.
And in Street Fighter, for some reason, I've always just wanted to just spam moves.
Yeah.
Like it was just an easier way to play it, I guess.
Oh, Grodowski, what about you? Do you have you ever tried like Street Fighter and really enjoyed it, or Tekken, or any of the other besides War of the Monsters, which sounds really interesting, by the way.
You guys should check it out. A lot of the games I played were like we
Look
picked
it
them
up.
up randomly, and I never really got into any of the big names except for Super Smash Brothers. I played that before, and
Mhm.
that seems to have a button mash vibe to it, where you're kind of just destroying a controller to
Which
get
one
what you need.
did you
Whoa.
play? The one wasn't there one for like
Super
N64?
awesome,
Did you play
dude.
the one that was like Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee? Have you played every single entry or just like a couple?
Just a couple.
Just a couple. Gotcha.
Oh,
Same.
I'm gonna load an image here real quick.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that game looks really interesting. It kind of has a like a Godzilla Destroy All Monsters kind of a look.
The base is that every city that you can fight in is supposed to be part of a movie, and the monsters that you choose to fight with are a part of that movie. So, like, yeah, it is a awesome game. I highly recommend
Wow.
anyone and everyone to check it out. And it
That,
should be cheap as hell.
What's
that
up?
is awesome.
It's a great game, and it's a part of my childhood.
It actually
Um,
looks like it's on the PlayStation store for
for PS4.
PS4. Yeah,
Holy shit!
Wow.
but here, let me see. This here looks like more of like a gameplay pick. Let me show this one. Yeah, man. Like I really get like I said, a Godzilla Destroy All Monsters kind of a feel to it. Is it
Mhm.
like that? Like, you can use? Did you say you can destroy buildings and stuff?
Yeah, you can use the cars that drive around. You can destroy buildings and pick up different pieces of metal or antennas or stuff like that.
Can you pick up groups of people, mash them into a ball, and throw it at the other monster?
People ball instead of a snowball. No, I think you can step on them and they make.
Dude,
Hey, that's something.
everything's going so bad today.
Yeah. No, you're doing good.
All right,
You're just
great.
Why? What?
I did not die.
no, you're
No,
good.
no.
You're
We still hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But yeah. So like I was just asking before I somehow got disconnected there. So you can, like you said, you can destroy buildings and stuff.
Yeah, and then you can use the destroyed buildings and different pieces will fall on the ground. You can pick those pieces up and throw them. You can throw them in the buildings. You can throw the other monsters if you get a hold of them. It's a great game. I highly recommend anyone and everyone to check it out. And it's not hard to like pick up what the gist is, what you're doing.
Yeah. So this looks like something
Deals
maybe like
back.
from like the story mode in it or something.
There's a story mode, and then if it's for the Play Store, then it'll be similar to what it was when I played it on PS3. You could play multiplayer. I think up to 4 people.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. Heck yeah. Dude, I'm definitely gonna look into this.
I definitely want to play the giant robot. That giant robot looks sick. So
Yeah. Right.
It looks like they put in all the fun details to the game too, like the lighting and everything they put in there looks pretty dope.
yeah.
Seriously, a beautiful game. I recommend anyone and everyone to check it out. I
So,
can't say
like,
that enough.
How many monsters can fight at one time? Is it only 2 monsters, or can you have like multiple,
I think it's 4, up to 4.
up to 4?
Okay. Yeah. So like you said, the multiplayer
Yeah.
setting. Yeah, man. That actually like talking about Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. That's another great one. Because that one,
Mhm.
and what was like what was cool with that one too is like the power ups. You could get Mothra to be on your side, and then he would just come down and just OP.
Oh, I remember that. Wasn't that on GameCube, I believe, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great one too. That kind of I know I keep going back to that, but yeah.
Okay,
was
so
a good
then
Very
game.
interesting.
let me shoot a question. Does Twisted Metal count?
Twisted Metal is I would count it as a fighting game. Heck yeah.
Because it's the same
Yeah,
premise.
it's a battle like a vehicle battle kind of game. I would for sure. The
That's
clown and everything. There was wasn't there characters? I'm not too
Yeah,
familiar with like the
yeah, like
the character name.
the driver of the vehicle and the vehicle, like when you were in the select screen or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The I never played any of the newer ones, but the first one was pretty cool. Kind of cheesy graphics, but you know, it was
Well,
the
these
missile and
are
everything you could shoot.
these are my
They had like
PS
little battleground.
2 days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about Soul Calibur? Anybody like Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur is one that I've only played a few times, but every time I have played it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that's another game that they released on GameCube with a, I guess I'll call it a cameo. The guest character in that version was Link from Legend of Zelda. Again, my favorite guy. So
Yeah, no, Mark and I don't know if you remember, Mark. We played it some years ago. I think it was on the
heck yeah. Was it
And
the
for the
was it
Xbox-
4?
what was it? No,
Wasn't
it
it
was 2. It was Soul
Oh, it
Calibur
was 2.
2. And for Soul Calibur 2, they had guest characters like Zio was saying. I think for PS2, it was an exclusive character for each console. For PS2, I think it was Heihachi from Tekken. For GameCube, it was Link. And then for my mind is failing me. Hold on. For Xbox, it was Spawn. They gave you Spawn.
nice.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know they had Spawn.
Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu was in it as well, right?
he was in it too. Yeah.
Mhm.
But he's like he's an actual character in the game though,
Yeah.
right? He's not
And
just
that to me is one of my favorite fighters because I've always liked the ring out fighters where you could just like pick them up, throw them straight out. And then I don't know if you also remember, Mark, when you and I were playing it, they had a challenge mode, which was also pretty unique. And so what you could do is like you could take like your favorite character, put them in a challenge mode, and they would give you different challenges. For example, like you would fight waves of people, but as you're fighting them, you would have to beat them in a certain amount of time, or your health bar would expire because you've been poisoned. So like they give you like really interesting challenges as you're fighting different matches in like challenge mode and stuff like that. And I thought that was really unique. So yeah.
I know there was one fighter in Soul Calibur. I can't think of her name right now, but she carries a huge ring as her weapon, but it acts as both a weapon and a shield. And I don't care what game you put her in, I could not be a big fan of her solely because I could never beat her. And I mean, like, she is almost impenetrable because, again, her weapon is this giant ring, like a bladed ring that she holds, that she just swings around like crazy. And for one, it works as a shield because if you get too close, you're touching a giant blade. But she also has the ability to, like, swing it around and use it as a weapon. And it's like, God, I don't know how anybody gets used to, for one, controlling her. It's difficult. So, like, but whatever her name is, she is somebody that respected her as a fighter.
That's another game. It's funny that you say that because Soul Calibur is another game where you can absolutely cheese out a win. Like you can hit like one button. I remember when Mark, I think it was Mark versus me or whatever. What's going on? What did I do?
Face him.
This guy.
It's
This
all
guy.
face him.
Ooh.
Nothing, man. Keep going.
We're listening.
We're
beautiful.
appreciating the expertise. That's all.
No, I remember what was it? I think I was fighting Mark in the game, and I had picked a guy named.
You destroyed me real bad.
Yeah, no. Actually, you actually did really good that round. I picked a guy named Maxie who had like nunchucks, and then you picked a chick who had a spear, and the girl's reach was so long that you could just hit one button and just kick my ass like numerous rounds. So that's another game.
I remember
you
that.
just spam or win. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah.
But
man, there's some really good fighter games too. One in particular I can think of that I'm thinking about is Bushido Blade. I believe we talked about it last time a little bit. and it kind of has it's got like a samurai kind of base. It's a samurai based game, so there's like four or five different characters you can choose from, and it's really just for the sake of just choosing a character. There's none of them have like any specific abilities, but you have a choice from like a naginata spear, katana, and like a couple other different swords. And what's really cool about the game is that it's very like it has like a realistic feel. So when like they attack, you can either parry or like try to like get out of the way of the sword. And if you parry, you kind of have a chance to like deflect it and stun them a little bit, and then come in with your own strike. And it's really based on critical hits, so you can get like a one strike, one kill, and it's really hard.
Wow.
But
Okay. Nice.
I have the first and second one, and that game is really fun too. I really recommend that.
That actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's got like a more of a realistic feel to it. With
I definitely respect those games that have those realistic vibes where it's like like that, like where it's a one shot, because that means that the gameplay is no longer about how great you can get with combos and all that, and more so just like it's about strategy and getting that first shot in. I like that.
And it really is, and it's like it's really cool sometimes because they'll do like a replay, and you'll see like if you do like a parry or like a dodge and then strike, and you're like, holy shit, like I just did that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's actually one of the things I liked about I think Soul Calibur has that like a replay after you get like a ring out or something like that, like they show the last moves. I appreciate those because it's like a moment where you get to boast without actually boasting out loud. The game
right
for you.
Yeah. or like when you're online, you're like, oh, did I just do that? Did I win?
Exactly.
So like with Bushido Blade, then like if I'm a character and like I'm on the losing end, and let's say like I get hit in the arm, is my arm falling off or what?
No. At least not in the PS1 version. I don't know if there's any other ones, but you can get hurt. So let's say like you get hit in the arm or something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, like you can't do certain moves because you're injured.
Yeah.
Or you might get hit in like the leg or something, and your character will fall to the ground.
So it's similar. Like you're on the right idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's realistic enough while still being video game. Like it's you have the effects that if you got hit, got hit. But it's
just no Mortal Kombat like limbs falling off or flying up into the air.
So back to PS2 games. I used to play a game called Black and Bruce, and it's boxing, and it's very similar to this fighter stuff. It's one guy on one side, the other guy on the other side, and it's another game I recommend you check out. It's not as good as War of the Monsters, but most of the fighter type games that I played were on the PS2. That were that style, that were either War of the Monsters, where it's the 3D world or platform, you can move around, or it was more like that Black and Bruce, where it was 2D-ish, because it tried to keep you guys, just the distance part was the important part.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was a fighting ring, so you could move in or out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so there was do you guys ever play Ready to Rumble boxing?
I've heard of it. I've never checked it out though.
I think that was on the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a PS2 game, but yeah, that one was pretty cool. That one's all of those ones are real combo based. A lot of like you gain points for more combos, and I think it's actually kind of like Batman with like the hit streaks.
Oh, like the where you would build up a combo and then like it would show you your combo score or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and the bigger the combo, the more like points you get, and then you get like a power up shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody has fought Mike Tyson from Punch Out and lost right?
You know what? I'm actually that one guy that's never really played it.
You haven't played it? It's tough.
I've never played Punch Out.
I never even got to Mike Tyson. So even if I got to Mike Tyson, I know I'd lose. So yeah, but
I've never played that either. So
no.
that's one that like all of my siblings have played, and I was just in the dust.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was one of my neighbors actually had, what was it? What was the game for? Was it? I know it wasn't Nintendo 64. I can't remember what Punch Out was for, but I actually only played it once, and it was actually really challenging. So, but yeah, no, it's
If it's anything like in Super Smash Brothers with the wind up punch and everything,
oh yeah,
that'd be pretty.
Based on the
interesting.
graphics for it, I think it might have been like for NES or something.
I
It was
think
one of the
you're right.
like 2D
Or
pixelated
Super
type games,
Nintendo.
right?
mm-hmm.
Or Super Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah.
See, the best part for Mortal Kombat for me was the way that they stood and sort of that thrusting, humping motion that they had when you were ready, when you were starting. You know, sort of that. I wish I could show you guys and mount this somewhere, but they had that all the hip in the way
Oh,
that
you're
they
talking about
stood.
just their stance,
Just the
like
stance.
in the original. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun,
yeah,
yeah.
and it was a lot of thrust in there.
Yeah.
We got a newcomer over here.
High punch, low punch.
I
Yeah. Just spam it. I think it was the high
That
punch was
sounds like
always the
whenever I
deadly
use
one.
Eddie
And then you
Right.
just
in
keep doing it.
Tekken.
Yeah, you guys are gonna laugh at me, but like Mortal Kombat's a really cool game. I'm not doubting that. I'm gonna be honest though, it really grosses me out. I never got into any of them because, especially the newer ones, because I don't know. I
You're
just
one
like,
of those guys.
yeah, when there was like a fatality, like seeing somebody's spine get ripped off, and then like they're
You know, yeah, you need a trash can right next to you as you're
It's
playing. Like,
graphic.
yeah, dude,
That was so funny. When
that bone doesn't bend that way. That doesn't work.
not anymore.
when Mortal Kombat X came out,
Yeah.
I remember I had it and we were playing it at a family party.
Mhm.
And I forget. I think it was one of my aunts. She was like watching us play it. And I did a fatality with Liu Kang. And there's the one where like he like rides the person up into the air like a board, like a skateboard or a snowboard.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
he like, not to get into too much detail, but he basically splits the person in half and like, chunks everywhere. and I just remember my aunt being like, oh
Chunks everywhere.
man, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, yeah, and like, it was just funny her reaction, and I'm pretty sure that's most like parents and
Yeah.
older people's reactions to the game.
Yeah.
Like or even just people's reactions in general. You can go on YouTube and look up like Mortal Kombat fatality reactions, and
See,
they're always real good.
it was weird because
Nice.
I tried that one fighting game with the DC characters, Injustice.
Oh
And
yeah,
I really liked that
Mm.
game because it had a similar feel to Mortal Kombat, and I love the fighting. I love the fighting in both games. It's just that the Mortal Kombat has more like the gore and like the person getting like spikes through the eyes and everything and stuff like that. So, but
That's actually
both are really
funny.
good fighting games. I will. So.
I've seen people play Injustice. I haven't played it myself. I've seen people play it, but what I have played is there's a Mortal Kombat like with DC characters in it, like it's Mortal Kombat versus DC,
yep.
and that one was like it was terrible to me, and it was only because I was so used to playing Mortal Kombat with such like loose fighting styles that once the DC characters were in there, I was just like everybody's just buff. That's all it is, just a bunch of tall buff characters.
Well,
and it
and
was
not
so
only-
weird to me. I was like, the Flash isn't supposed to be that buff, but
Yeah.
he's buff, and the Joker was buff, and I'm like, that's weird.
Not only that, Zio, I don't know. I could be wrong about this, but didn't they remove the fatalities when they did the DC?
I think they did. I think they removed the fatalities and they added something called Rage to it,
Yeah.
which like it was taking over all the characters. That's what like they were using as their like power boost, I guess. It was just a strange premise to me, but I think Injustice came out better as a fighter game for DC, while Mortal Kombat was better, as just Mortal Kombat, not with DC characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you put DC into it, and all of a sudden now, it's got to be kid friendly and everything. Especially
Superman,
superheroes
dude,
and-
Superman could take Flash's head off and play basketball with it. I'm pretty sure they would put that in there.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
No.
I actually love that debate because, like, as a comic lover and a DC lover more than that, I know that Superman and the Flash have always had a rivalry of, you know, who's faster, because that's the Flash's thing, is that he's fast, while the Superman thing is, yeah, I'm that too. To whoever he's fighting, it's yeah, I'm that too.
Hmm.
And so
Maybe
it's
that's why
always
he's so
crazy.
hated.
If they traveled at such high speeds that they both just like killed each other because they just fizzled out.
Essentially, like there's
Two
been like so many
unstoppable
different
forces.
outcomes to that race. There's been outcomes where like Flash runs so fast that he creates a rift in the Speed Force, and
Yeah.
like he can no longer race because he's no longer in the regular world. And then there's like, you know, Superman goes so fast he reverses time, and now he's no longer in the race because he's in a different time period. And it's like, well, things are going crazy, I guess.
He finished the
There's
race in
never
the
going to be
past.
an answer to who's faster. They're both too fast is the answer.
So
Yeah.
like, you know, I've never really been too big into Flash. I don't really know much about him. So what, is he just really fast, or like does he like is he actually strong too? Like is he fast with his
He's-
punches and everything? And
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
He's
He's-
fast and smart first and foremost, and then the strength follows because of his speed. Like his muscle recovery is really fast and whatnot, and so like
okay,
he's buffer than before he got his abilities. He was just some regular skinny forensic scientist, and once he got his abilities, he became stronger because of the fact that his body like regenerates fast and whatnot, and he moves so quickly. But outside of that, it's really just speed and brains that he has. He's not like so strong that he can beat up Superman any day, ever.
okay. So that's he's kind of like the Spider-Man of like for DC. Then like, you know, he's like a smart kid and like he gains these
Spider-Man.
powers.
Spider-Man went toe to toe with Superman. They had a crossover with Superman and Spider-Man where they met one another, and I guess they were because you know Spider-Man pulls his punches, right? Like if Spider-Man, like
yeah.
he was saying, I think he said numerous times, like if Spider-Man were to actually punch a burglar, his whole arm would probably go through the burglar's chest, like if he didn't
Yeah.
pull his punches. So like no, I mean Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man is
really
actually
strong.
strong. Spider-Man.
But
is,
which
surprisingly
Spider-Man,
strong.
right?
I don't know why.
Because
they
over
never
the
show his full
years-
strength often.
Yeah. Which Spider-Man though? Because over the years, there's been the Spider-Man that doesn't have superpowers, but he's got the web gadget, and then there's the other
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that
Yeah,
actually shoots stuff out of his web.
The
or out
shitty
of
Andrew
can.
Garfield Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Oh,
The
well.
At
most
least
common
Spider-
used Spider-Man, I think it's based on the original. I'm not sure, but the
Yeah.
most common one, who like actually has the spider abilities, is really strong. And like there are times where he, in fact, I can say oh crud, I can't even think of his name right now. That's terrible. The most recent Spider-Man from the Marvel movies, he is the most similar to the Spider-Man from the most common comics.
Mhm.
He and Tony Maguire. And basically that version that's the one that can like lift up an airplane if you wanted to. And that's solely because he's just strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how strong spiders actually are, but this guy is strong, and it makes no sense because he's a teenager. But but it's
Right.
cool. It's one of the reasons why I like him.
They should do they should do a Marvel. You know how they used to do Marvel versus Capcom? Let's do Marvel versus DC. That would sell like
That would sell.
They've
That-
done comics for
Totally
that.
so.
That would sell.
yeah.
How come they haven't done that yet?
I have no idea. I don't know if it's a licensing thing or what, but it would be the coolest thing. Seeing
We'll
like
see.
seeing
We'll
like
see.
Batman fight Daredevil would be like a dream come true of mine. That'd be so awesome.
No class, man.
I wouldn't
That
be
would be a
surprised if
game-
it
that would be the
happened
game of
like
the
in the near
century.
future.
I'm
Yeah.
still looking for Marvel and X-Men, and it's the same company. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're talking about like movie wise?
yeah, yeah.
Oh heck yeah, man. Like yeah. I
X-
mean,
Yeah, X-Men films haven't been. I don't know. They've made so many of those. I think the last good one I saw was Logan or whatever, the one where
Oh,
it's
yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
older Wolverine.
I
Yeah.
have not
I really
seen
like
Logan.
the fact that like it was really about like his demise more than anything.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing Wolverine in a weak state, like, and it was just at first you're like, oh, this is really dumb, but then you keep watching the movie and it's like there's a really cool storyline to it. Because then
You know,
and then you end up having
now
a kid, right?
now that Disney owns like most of Fox now, you're never gonna get another rated R superhero movie. Because they pretty much own what do they own? They own most of Marvel, X-Men's part of Marvel. So yeah, they pretty much own all of Marvel. So you probably won't get another dark themed superhero movie like Logan for quite some time. I think the most recent one, but it's DC.
Do they own Deadpool yet?
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah, right.
Same.
They turn him into like this nice guy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Hey, how you doing? He's just like, hey, please and thank you. Hey, let me hold the door for you. Come
No,
on.
Reynolds. I don't think Reynolds would
Weapons.
go
Oh
for that.
my, no.
always look both ways before you cross the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's helping grandma. Here, let me grab those crutches for you.
Yeah.
Where's the walker?
I changed my name to just Pool now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hey, baby, that I really respect you. And then he just like closes the door. You're a real nice guy now. So,
Man,
so yeah. Oh man.
Deadpool.
But
Those are good films though. They really need to make some more. Hopefully they continue with those.
they had other
I
X-Men.
want whoever was in charge of the first Deadpool movie to take over DC films because that one came out amazing. And Batman is literally my favorite superhero all around for many reasons. I can go on and on about that. But
Where's Isaac when you need him?
they just don't do well with
Yeah,
live action
man.
movies
He was
for
just
that
behind.
brand.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he is a really cool superhero. I think it's like the main draw to me for like Batman is just the fact that like he has no superpowers, but he has like intelligence and he has like the resources to, fight crime whenever possible. Whereas like everybody else is just like an overpowered like superhero, So
You know what they don't do enough? Well,
Yeah, exactly.
I shouldn't say they don't do it
And I
enough.
think that kind of shows who my heroes are.
yeah. No, absolutely.
But you know what they don't do enough. I mean, even though they did do it with the Avengers, like with crossovers, bunch of different superheroes all
Coming
together.
together.
But like they never really did it with
Yes.
like the X-Men characters or even like the Fantastic Four. Like what I'm thinking of mainly, or from what I'm getting, like the idea from is Ultimate Spider-Man on the PS2, because like you played as Spider-Man, but then you got to see other superheroes from
Yeah, you
other
ran into Daredevil
worlds.
and
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. Yep.
Wolverine, you see Wolverine in the pub, and he's like, get away from me, bub. And then Venom comes in, and then you play as Venom, and then like you're facing Wolverine, and it's
Yeah.
just this crossover, and it's like, whoa, man! Like all these superheroes are, fighting each other.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't do that enough.
The reason there really hasn't been a crossover really, it probably has to do with licensing issues. Because if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
I don't think Disney or whatever, I don't think they had owned Fox for a while. So until they acquired the rights, they were just really mainly focused on the X-Men, and they weren't really focused on like doing a team up movie with other Marvel superheroes. I don't know why, because it would sell immensely well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like it's okay. So you own the rights to this superhero. Obviously you own the rights, so you want to share, or you don't want to share any of the profits with anybody. But just think how, like I know, at least for me, I'd be going to see all of those if there were more crossovers like that. I think that'd be super interesting.
And the reason I think
Seriously, especially when you know that like the fans are gonna want it more too. You make like if it's about money, then it's like you're gonna make more money by keeping the fans happy. If I found out that the people in charge of the MCU wanted to turn like a character that I owned, like to take control of that in order to put out movies, I'd be like, okay, screw my movies, take it, do it. Like let's get this money off of it. Like for one, I want the character to be loved, and the way they've been doing it, it's just bad.
Yeah.
And like again, they have so many characters, especially in the DC universe, that like have yet to be used solely because they're not well known yet. But I promise you, most of the MCU I didn't know about before this. Like I
Oh
wasn't a
yeah,
big fan of a lot of those
Oh,
characters.
yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
got big because of the MCU, and
they
I can
did
picture like Robin could have a lot of movies about
made
him.
a great point. They did a great job getting each one lined up and sold right, and
Mhm.
then brought into the Avengers, and that's what made those movies just amazing.
I also,
Period.
yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I also think one of the reasons why like Marvel did sell better too is because they have a lot more fun like superheroes. They're more like upbeat, you know what I mean? Whereas like DC,
Mhm.
you have a lot more serious, darker superheroes. Even with like Batman. Even though I didn't really care for Batman
Mhm.
versus Superman as a film, like that film was pretty dark, you know. But over here you have like a
Superman used to be one of their brighter heroes, and they ruined it by,
yeah,
you know, trying to introduce him alongside Batman again. And it's like, he's
yeah,
not supposed to be that dark all the time. And they
yeah,
tried to make him dark, and it's like, that's what people make fun of you for. Don't do that.
oh, absolutely. And on top of that, he was killing people left and right too. Batman
Mhm.
and Batman versus Superman. I was like, wait a minute, he doesn't kill people. But I was like, all right, whatever. I guess they want to be
Exactly. Like,
edgy and dark, so yeah. But I mean,
I can say, I think they did a great job on the Shazam movie,
yeah. What was
Oh
that?
yeah.
whose actual name is Captain Marvel, but they couldn't use that because, you know, Marvel.
Yeah.
Is
But
it
like
is it really?
my main point, I think the reason like Marvel sells so well is because like their movies are more fun and like
Mhm.
more of like popcorn movies. Whereas like I feel like DC tries to get too deep sometimes with their films, and I really don't think they need to do that. They really should just make them superhero movies,
Exactly.
you know, stick to the
It feels
origin.
like it's a pride thing or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I think that's where like their main problem is.
What if they're just a little late to the calling and they're acting like they're trying to pick up the slack?
Yeah, that
What
could
if that's it?
Yeah,
yeah, that's a possibility. Who
that
knows?
makes sense.
I mean, because the
But
last couple of DC movies have been pretty good. Wonder Woman wasn't bad. Aquaman wasn't bad. I like
oh,
that.
Aquaman was awesome, man.
Yeah, that
Oh
That's
movie
yeah,
probably
was
my favorite
Aquaman
one.
was yeah.
awesome. Yeah,
Shazam. I mean, Shazam was
and
good
like I
too.
said, because
But
they have a lighter tone, they stick with the superhero. They don't try to tell like a deeper message that
right.
won't make like any sense to people who are longtime fans of those superheroes. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think that's why it works so well.
I feel like Wonder Woman's movie was just too long for me,
Yeah,
but I felt like a lot of the characters were great ideas. Like they introduced Flash, I think, in a great way. I thought Flash would have been a very good character, and I think they still plan on making another movie for him, as
yes,
long as they avoid it being too dark. Like honestly, I commend the TV show versions of a lot of these characters because, like the Flash television show, it's so far from being dark. Like it has its dark moments, but that's because staying faithful to the character, they have dark moments.
right.
But the show as a whole, it's so bright. Like so many scenes take place in the daytime. It's like
Yeah,
it's sunny. It's about romance and friendships and things like that. And I
yeah,
think that's great. It makes the show fun. They can have fun. They use comedy in it just right. And I
yeah.
think the movies need to take a huge hint from that
They do.
because I don't want to go to a movie theater and sit for 2 hours to watch Batman's parents die again. and
Right.
then
And that's the thing.
and
It's
then
like a
see
lot of
Superman
these.
struggle with whether or not he should kill Lex Luthor. Like what?
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of these movies. A lot of these movies are. They're more like introductions to these characters,
yeah,
and then they
Mhm.
a lot of them they've left them at like like maybe they introduced a villain at the end of the film, and then they get you really pumped, and then it's like they haven't done anything with them yet, and it's like man, like Aquaman for instance. Okay, now we got his backstory. He gets his he finds his way to the throne, and now now
Mhm.
the real fun begins in his story, and
Mm.
they need to continue with it. I don't know if they will or if there's
Exactly.
Yeah.
but all of those movies are set up so perfectly for more.
Yeah.
And
You make a
now they
great
just need
point
to
with
give it
like,
to us,
that being
you know?
origin stories. Like that's a
Yeah.
great point because I think that's what I didn't like about the Justice League movie. I was really looking forward to it because they used a lot of my favorite characters. But I felt like the one thing they did wrong was it's a movie about Aquaman, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and the Flash. And they tried to fit all their stories into the beginning to round them
Yeah.
up. And it was
You
like,
didn't
you
you
got
didn't
too
need
many
to.
characters to try
That
to fit
was
origin
so
stories.
dumb. I agree.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
the Justice League. Like,
They try
Yeah.
to fit too
if
much
you're into the
one,
Justice League already,
and
you
then,
don't
like-
need all of that shit.
Well, and that
Like,
goes
get into the good
Exactly.
stuff.
that goes back to Ogre's main point is that what before they introduced the Avengers, they had films for most of the people that were going to be introduced. So you were already introduced to like those solo, like those characters in their own solo story.
Yeah.
So when you saw them together,
Exactly. And even the ones who had like minor parts had minor parts in older movies. Even Thanos, he showed up like what 6 films before Infinity War.
Yeah.
That's just like
Yeah.
the final end scene of him like grabbing a stone. Like that was all they needed to say. Okay, he's going to
Yeah.
be a villain later on. We know that now.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
later on, they drop little bits and pieces here and there before showing his big reveal.
yeah.
But like
They didn't need a whole movie
DC
to
just
do
said,
that.
"Hey,
Well, and another
Exactly.
thing too, and DC could have very well done this at a convention or whatever. But I remember when Marvel, whenever they would hold a big thing, and Marvel would be introduced, they would have a whole time frame of when a movie would be released, when something that was related to that film would be released. It was all organized.
yes.
So that
Oh, yeah.
organization allowed them to ease in to different superheroes, different potential new superheroes that we haven't seen on the big screen yet. And that was another big plus for Marvel is just they're more organized. They're not all over the
Mhm.
place trying to fit everybody's story.
Mhm.
And I
So
don't know if it has anything to do with budget to round out the way these movies look, but something about the DC films don't work the way they work in cartoons. Because again, I feel like Marvel has DC beat in the film category,
mhm.
while when it comes to animation and even comics, in my opinion, I think DC is winning because
Yeah.
animated television shows and animated movies, DC rocks them. They do a great job of introducing characters, giving them great stories. They tell the story well. They fit everything into the right time slots. And then the entire time you're watching it, like if you're watching Batman, you're thinking, man, Bruce Wayne is really bad A. Like,
Yeah.
and you think that like the entire way through with Superman.
Yeah.
It's not always super
He's
dark, but when it
badass,
does get dark,
yeah.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Superman's mad. Didn't want to make that happen. Like,
No.
Right.
And I mean,
On the thought of
you all right, Ogre?
Hold up.
Hold up, he froze.
yeah, I lost
You
him.
froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're frozen. Sub-Zero.
Wait,
All
let's
right.
all freeze with him. Freeze with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
crossovers, I want to take. Oh shit!
Hold up.
Almost.
We're almost there. It's
Yeah.
buffering.
Am I back?
Yeah,
Yep.
you're back now.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. On the whole talk of crossovers, I was a really big fan when they came out with Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
yeah.
great thought, and
Cool.
I was kind of upset with the second one because I felt like it may have been a little rushed, or maybe the budget wasn't there, or the same thought that they went with the first one, even though it was a little bit of a stretch. The first one, I loved it,
Yeah.
and I loved the action in it, and that was pretty much the premise of the movie. You're watching it for the action. You're watching it for two different
Mhm.
badass type of aliens coming in, and not really being too fond of each other. And that's what they did.
Dude,
So
the greatest scene, man, at the end when freaking the Predator's sitting there, or he's lying there.
He's
and the
lying in
alien
the.
pops out. The alien
Mhm.
pops out.
It's
of
a
the
classic
chest,
now.
dude.
It's a classic now.
Oh,
That's a staple in movies.
Dude, that is so great. Heck yeah.
I wish they would have done more with that.
Yeah, and I think wasn't there a game,
Yep,
or was it just Predator?
So
I had that PS2 game. That's
It was
another
Alien
PS2
versus
game.
Predator?
Oh yeah.
Was it good? I never played it.
Yeah, I would play it, and
Yeah.
It's not like you're not dying to play it. I'm not dying for everyone to play it. The one I'm dying for people to play is the one I mentioned right at the beginning. That one is just it's a beautiful staple. But the
definitely
AVP
checking
game,
it out.
I'm not gonna say it again. You know what I'm gonna say. So
Yeah.
just do it. Just do it.
Heck yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that was. Were there any humans in that one, or was it just the xenomorphs versus versus the predators, like the aliens versus the predators?
Oh, there was humans.
There was definitely humans in there.
There was humans.
Were they
predators?
were
The predators
super
helped
annoying,
you.
and did they all die?
What's that?
Were the humans
Say it again.
super annoying, and did they all die? Because I love those types of movies.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that stuck around to the end.
Oh, that sucks. No, I'm joking.
No, yeah, but the predators helped the humans, right? Or the humans helped the
Eventually.
predators. They kind of
I think they started out as part of the game, and then ended up helping out at the end.
yeah.
What the heck caused that? I thought the predators like hated humans or whatever. That's weird.
Well, they hated Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's they
Yeah,
hated his
Hitler.
acting and the film.
You
So
ugly mother.
Yeah.
oh man.
Oh. What does he say at the end? What does the predator say at the end of that one?
I think he just says, "I am Predator," and then he laughs.
Oh, he
That's
says,
what
"Fuck
he says.
you," and then he starts laughing, and then he
Oh, he
blows up.
does. He does.
Yeah.
You might be
Yeah.
right. You might be
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, dude. He goes, "Yeah, I'll say it again. Fuck you," and then he starts laughing. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's a real creepy. I remember being freaked out at that as I was when I was like a youngin, and yeah, that
got the
laugh was
bomb.
creepy. And then he blows up, and you're just like, whoa, man,
Dude.
that's crazy.
They've made so many alien movies. Like after they've made, God, how many have there been? Because there was the Alien versus Predator, and that alien that shows up to fight Predator. There's been so many sequels and so many spin-offs to those that I don't even know which one to watch. Like everybody keeps telling me that those movies are so great, but there's like 10 of them or more. I'm not sure. So
Yeah, there are a lot of them for sure.
yeah.
Original's the best. I want them to pick that up again. I want them to play with it some more.
Is that the one from what, the 80s or 70s? It's just called Alien or whatever? Or am I wrong?
It's the same Xenomorph.
Okay, gotcha. Because it's the one with the head that's shaped like a penis, right?
You could go there.
Right, yeah.
It's just a big dome-looking thing. It's
Oh,
smooth.
man.
Yeah,
You guys-
Don't go
You guys
pet
have
it.
seen Spaceballs, right?
yeah, just that one.
Yes,
Spaceballs at the end
with the
too.
top hat dancing. Yeah.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Alien. That's
The
the one.
top hat.
They made like a huge franchise out of that one alien. There's like numerous or whatever. So the one that busts out of the dude's chest in Spaceballs. So,
Yep.
dancing. So
There was
I'm sorry,
actually an
this is like
alien
the
game.
epitome of showing how rude cats are.
I love your cat, dude. I want to pet it. I want to hold it.
There was actually an alien game for the PlayStation 1, and it was real horrible graphics. But I just remember you go like the first mission, you go down this hallway and there's just an alien, like one of the taller aliens, and he's just going back and forth, and you have to kill it, which is easy. And then as you keep going down the hall, more like the spider ones, they start crawling at you, and you have to shoot them on the ground. And if you don't get to them in time, they crawl up and they crawl up on the face, and you could see them, and they're like moving, and it's like real creepy. Yeah,
I like the way that looks.
yeah, right.
So they're face huggers.
Okay, and I'm going to be lame. This has nothing to do with anything. I don't even think it's considered a fighting game. But you want to talk old school, you want to talk memories, you want to talk about addictinggames.com. Does anyone remember that?
Yep.
Does anyone remember being in middle school or high school and blowing off the writing or the essay you were doing or whatever? You were in the computer class.
All the time.
There was one of the games. Yeah, you made my childhood. Thank you.
For real.
One of the games I used to play, it was called Interactive Buddy, Does anyone remember?
Yeah.
Is that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's the dumbest premise,
Dumb.
but it was beautiful. It was a beautiful dumb disguise. That's what
You
it
just
was.
keep punching them and make money, and then you got to buy it hats and yeah, man, I remember that. And then you could make it say things.
Yes, I liked playing as Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, Napoleon, dude.
That was the best one.
Freaking idiot. Oh man. You know what else was cool on there was Territory Wars. If we were
Yes.
talking about
Oh
fighting games,
man. Oh man.
Territory Wars was awesome. And then they had they created like an online server for that later on. I think I played like a couple games on it, but it wasn't too not safe, but like it wasn't a very good server. Like,
Yeah.
it would crash out all the time. But I just remember always trying to kick everybody off of the maps, because that was like the easiest way to kill somebody. You just kick them off the cliffs and stuff.
I can't remember of the game that I played on Addicting Games, but it was one of the funniest and coolest ones I've ever played. You're a sniper for hire, and you would check your computer, and your computer would have messages. And there was one that said, "Hey, there's this really annoying 65-year-old lady who has her dog pee on my grass. I need you to kill her. You need to
take out the dog."
So you would pick a vantage point, and there'd be a little lady walking along with her like little chihuahua, and she's pissing on the neighbor's grass. You have to line up and find the right shot and then fire. And if you killed her, the guy would reply and he'd be like, "Dude, I'm so," and I know we shouldn't cuss on here, but the reply from the center would be like, "Dude, I'm so glad that bitch is dead. Thank you."
Oh, okay.
Oh, you made my life so much better.
Yeah.
Like $20,000. Yeah, it was hilarious. So, I love that game.
I think that was Tactical Sniper, wasn't it?
What's wrong? What's up?
Wasn't it called Tactical Sniper or
I
something
think
like
so.
that?
Yeah, but it was hilarious.
There was a bunch of different ones on there.
I love that game. That was so good.
And then Stick Page, they had Stick Page that came out like a little bit later.
Yeah.
They had Stick Wars. You could play as the Spartan. The Stick
Yes.
Yeah.
They called them.
What about Age of War? Or the premise was you started out as like cavemen, and then you advanced up to the Spartans, then you advanced up to almost like the military that we see, and then you advance. I think it was called Age of War, and it was another stick game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun. Yeah, I could go on and on about that, man.
Oh, good night.
They had Warfare 1912, where you had to you were like you created different troops. So the first one was based on World War I. So you had the trenches, and you would create like a wave of troops. So you could just create like guys with probably like M1 Grands, and they'd walk out there, and then you could create guys with machine guns, and you'd have to get them in the trenches. And the more people you had in the trenches, like the more powerful, like
the better off you were.
The wave of fire was. Yeah, that was another fun one. I used to play that a lot. That was a good strategy one.
They used to have that site still up in high school, and I remember in SRT, one of my teachers would let me go down to the library, and they would always say the site would always say that this site is restricted for numerous reasons. And then at the bottom it was hilarious because they installed another option. They said, access this page for work-related reasons. So I would always click the access.
They didn't think that one through.
But here's the thing. It would alert the librarians. So the librarians would always come behind the cubbies and they would be like, "Why are you playing games? What are you doing?" My senior year, I got sent down to the office so much because they would catch me playing like addicting games in the library. Well, because we didn't have work to do. We didn't care. High school was dumb.
Oh man.
Mr. and Mrs. Nando, we bring you in this afternoon. We got little Nandoing all over the computer, and he was Nandoing it up. He was Nandoing to his friends, and he wanted them to Nando with him.
Your son's a failure, so we expected this. Sorry.
We're putting this on his report card.
This is gonna go on his permanent record. Yeah. So
Right. No more lunch for a whole week. That's it.
it's equivalent to a traffic violation. So enjoy that. So yeah, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Those were the times.
yeah.
Beautiful.
I remember.
God, I hated high school. Anyways, go ahead.
I remember.
Oh.
I remember people. I remember people in graphics class playing Happy Wheels.
Yeah.
That's where like I was first introduced to
Happy
it.
Wheels.
Mhm.
Give me the prem.
So Happy Wheels.
In a
Happy Wheels.
wheelchair?
There was a guy in a wheelchair. You had the guy on the pogo stick.
Oh yeah.
There was the chubby old lady on the well, there was the chubby old lady in the wheelchair. Then there was the homeless
Okay.
guy. Yeah. Then you had the guy with his son in the back of on a bicycle.
Yes.
And you had to go through all these obstacle courses with you could pick whoever you wanted.
I
Some
love that game.
Oh yeah, there's Zio. Zio just commented. That's right. Happy Wheels was lovely. It was lovely. And let me tell you, so much color red would spray onto the page because of the choppers and stuff like that.
Yes. I do remember playing that game. You would get like a little banner. You made it so many feet or whatever.
They had they had people would create the impossible levels, and you would use the guy on the pogo stick, and you'd have to.
Oh jeez.
You'd have to jump through like this small space, and usually on the top of the space there would be like a landmine, or those projectile like
missiles,
like the missiles or the spears. They'd come out at you.
Yep. Yeah.
And you'd have to dodge them all, and somehow like after a couple of tries you'd be able to get it. Like luckily, and then they always had that satisfying da 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 da, you know, at the end. Yeah, yeah, man, those were fun. In fact, I don't even think that's up anymore. I think they took that game down.
Happy Wheels.
Yeah, but Addicting Games, if I'm not mistaken, is still up, and there's still games on there.
Do you guys remember the Impossible Quiz?
Yes.
It's a term for the different direction. It's a bunch of very stupid questions. A bunch of very stupid questions with a bunch of very stupid answers. It's what you call when somebody's bored and they're like, I have an idea for a game. I could do it all by myself. Here, watch this. MS Paint. Let's go.
What does 516 equal? And you just said, you know, you'd have to know that it's 12 or something like that.
3.
Right.
Yeah.
One of them is like what time is it? And it's a clock, and there's a hammer, and you have to click on a hammer. It's hammer time. Hardy, hard. You know.
All right.
That's so dumb.
Do you guys remember there was a little game called The Maze? I think it was what it was called. And all it was
a jump scare.
You would go up. It was just like one straight line up, and as soon as you reach the top, the Exorcist or whatever would pop up at you.
It's like no one will make it past level 3. That's the original version of that.
The original jump scare, man.
The original bullshit. Because I don't know. You'd be scrolling, and I'm gonna go on an old man limb here, and I'll be scrolling through Facebook, and it always says. No one can make it past level 5, or oh, my boyfriend can't finish this. Blah blah blah. This fucking bullshit. And that's the original one where it got you. It gets real skinny on level 3, and you're like really paying attention and getting up there. It's the first gotcha. You know.
Oh, man.
Heck yeah.
That was the one where like that one kid got scared, so he punched a hole through his computer.
Yes.
Remember that? Yeah.
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 What a genius.
Whoever created that was a genius, man.
Yeah, no. I agree.
Thinking about those times, do you guys remember the Numa guy?
Yes.
Numa. Yep.
The baby in the crib.
Oh man.
Yeah. I remember that guy. Oh man, I remember. There was like I forget what his name was, but he would do like prank calls. And he would have like these buck teeth. He was a black guy, and he would like I can't remember what his name was. It's that. It's not. It doesn't even matter if I can't remember what the dude's name was. But yeah, there was a lot of good stuff, like in the beginning.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle. I'm joking.
hello,
Yeah, man.
Phil. Still
Yeah.
play a tune for me.
Or man, there was so many other good ones. You guys remember Electro Man? I think is what it was called. That was a fighting game on Addicting Games. You had
Yeah, a stickman game.
Electric Man. Yeah, there was Electric Man and then Electric Man 2. And you could do like slow-mo moves.
Oh yes, I do
Yes.
remember. Yeah, because
That game was awesome.
eventually you'd be fighting 2 or 3 guys, and one would be
Uh-huh.
tougher than the other 2. Yeah. Oh come on.
You would do like the flip, and then you'd throw them up in the air. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That game.
Bless your heart.
Those were time wasters, man. You waste so much time on Addicting Games.
That's it.
Yeah.
Come back
Dude,
back
the
from
hours
school.
would fly by.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially in what was, I don't want to call it keyboard class. What the hell was the one where we had they would cover the keyboard with the black
Yeah, keyboard class.
Is it typing or
typing,
thought it was
yeah.
another name, typing, yeah. And
Intensive typing. There's probably a bunch of different names for it.
probably nowadays?
Yeah.
Bullshit. You know.
Whoa.
exactly. You know
Yeah, they had to put someone to work.
Right.
The funniest thing is my teacher, when I did take keyboard, or keyboarding or whatever the hell they call it, he always wanted us to use that the plastic that he would put over the keyboard so we couldn't see. But I would look over at my teacher, and he's looking down at the letters on the keyboard, and he can see all the letters, and he's typing away. He's not looking at the screen all professionally, not even having to, look down at the keyboard. He would look and he would press S, and then he would go over to A, and then he'd go over to I, and then he'd go over to D. And I'm like, wait, so this guy's having us cover our keyboards, and
He's looking up ASDF movie.
I understand that. Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me, but whatever.
Hey, at least he didn't look at the S, hit it, and then look at the screen.
Then I'd be like, all right, time to put him in the home.
I remember one time in typing class.
Yeah.
They had I forget what the program was called, but they would teach you how to type on the different rows of the keyboard. So you always started off with just the middle row. ASDF, GH, AKL.
Yeah.
Semicolon.
Yeah, semicolon. And
Spacebar.
where you make sentences.
Yeah, and like it would be like the last, the lad, stupid
Salad.
Yeah. I remember one time I was just messing around on it, and I typed in ASS, and I thought it would go away, and it stayed on my screen for a good minute, like until I finished the
alert.
exercise. And freaking the teacher comes by, and she's looking at everybody's screens to like make sure everybody's doing stuff, and like she just looked at my screen. I don't even think she noticed, or maybe she did and just realized.
Very good.
Oh, maybe maybe I just messed up, but yeah,
I like your
I just
enthusiasm.
remember that was awkward.
Oh man.
But hey, Leo just asked, did any of you ever play Family Guy versus American Dad? I do remember that.
I remember hearing about that too. Yeah,
Yes,
I haven't played it though.
that was very interesting. In fact,
missed out.
I think that was on Addicting Games, I believe.
Oh,
It was another one of those flash games where they would advertise it on there, and then it might take you to like a different. Because you got to remember, there was Addicting Games, Stick Page, Congregate. There was a couple other flash game pages that were pretty popular.
Yeah.
But, but I definitely remember seeing that.
I remember seeing someone play it when I was in high school, and I was actually really surprised at how well they captured the characters. Because even for a flash game, I was like, wow, like that's a really good. Yeah, so it was a pretty good game. You could have like Peter Griffin beat the crap out of Stewie, or Stewie beat the crap out of the hippie teenage daughter from American Dad or whatever. Yeah, it was
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old school game. Don't remember the name. I'm thinking you're a priest and you got a pistol to start, and you walk forward and there's like a little girl that's a zombie and she has a knife and she's going
Okay.
like that. You know what I'm talking about? And there's a little boy on a skateboard coming at you.
No, but I want to play this.
No,
It
was
is
there a Flash
one
game?
of. Yeah, I want to say that it was, and I want to say the whole concept was really simple. But yeah, there was 3 weapons: a pistol, a shotgun, and an Uzi, and it was it was another time waster, but it was just great. It was great because it was so simple. Oh man, if I could remember the name. I want to say it starts
Now-
with a C, like Constance or something,
Constantine?
or Conviction or something stupid.
Yeah, probably something like that. They always had weird names for these games.
Yeah,
Now I'm going way back now. There was a game on the I think it was like the original Windows. Like it was like Windows 96 or whatever, 98. And you were like
Space
you were on
Pinball.
a which one?
Space Pinball.
That one was dope. That one, okay, I forgot about that one. That one was awesome too. But
Shake
there
the
was
table.
another one where you were like a skier, and you're just all it is you're just going down a mountain, and you got to dodge the trees, and there's like maybe some rocks, and you get to a certain like area, like whatever. I think it was like by distance. The more you went down, it would say like you're 600 feet in or whatever, and you'd get to a certain distance, and the abominable snowman would come out and start chasing you.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, like you had to like somehow speed up to get away from them. And there was actually a way to beat the game, but I never really figured it out. But I just always remember you would get down to a certain level and the abominable snowman would come out and kill you. Or the abominable snowman. I'm saying abominable, whatever the hell I'm saying.
The abdominal snow.
The abominable or whatever.
Yeah, he does
Blah, blah,
25
blah,
sit-ups
blah,
a
blah,
day.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I just remember that was a really fun one. But Space Pinball, dude, I remember I used to get some killer high scores on that.
Oh god.
And the music was really cool too for an old school
For
game like
for
that.
what it was,
Yeah, the
it was
music
way better
cool.
than Minesweeper.
Oh my gosh! Hey, you want to waste some time, man? Play some Minesweeper.
Yeah, put the flags up.
Yeah, if you're like really bored.
Yeah. You want to talk about old school games? What if I go to Doom? Have either one of you played Doom?
I have it for the PlayStation 1.
The original, the
Never
where
really
it's just a
played
gun
it
in
too
front of you?
much.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that game.
So
I know.
the-
I know you've put in some hours into it, Ogre.
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah. Thousands.
I was
You actually created levels, right?
I did.
Yeah, man.
Some
That's
I think I did almost 50, and I was looking at it. I want to do it again, but it's been years. I'm gonna have to sit down and learn it all.
the Puff Snowman.
Buff Snowman.
Well, Ogre, are you talking about the reboot in 2016 where you could do Map Maker or whatever and create your own maps? Is that the one you're talking about, or the one from from the 90s?
Yeah, from the 90s.
From the 90s? Yeah. No, I played both, but I didn't know that the 90s one allowed you to make your own maps.
You got to download. You got to download a ZDoom file, and you gotta.
Oh,
I looked it up.
Yeah, screw that. I'm
So the
not.
PC version.
Exactly, it's a process, but I was in love with the game. It's simple and it's almost like a puzzle game because you can set it up to make it a puzzle,
Yeah.
and that was the fun of it for me.
Well, and then because like I may have not have done any of the like custom maps from the 90s one, create your own thing, but I did for the 2016 one. If you had PSN, PlayStation Network or whatever, you could access other people's maps. And so they would have like shifting platforms, and they would also have like demons coming at you every which way. And then they would but no, I know exactly what the map creator was pretty cool, especially when you got to use it in the 2016 Doom, which is the one that you gave me, which is also another awesome game. So yeah.
Now this is a question of questions. Zio just asked us. So how much time have any of you wasted on Flappy Bird?
A
Now-
little.
Uh,
Enough that it's
A
sustainable.
little.
got over the first pipe, so not much. Not
I
much.
did make it. I did make it to 100 like once,
Damn.
Yeah.
but yeah, and I was for a little bit there. That was probably like my second semester of college, and actually I had just gotten a Windows phone, and Flappy Bird was still on there at that time, and yeah, I would put in some hours like in between classes. I would just sit there and like. Just
Oh
play it.
yeah.
Really,
That's what it was
really
for.
stupid game. But I mean, what game isn't really? It's one of those little concept games, you know.
Though there was a genre for a minute there that seemed to sell where it was just simple games, just get them out, waste the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
little quick ones, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, now everything's just like pay to win or whatever. Now you gotta like fork
Oh,
over
yeah.
money in order to like play a decent cell phone game. Like I remember the
Yeah.
last decent cell phone game I ever played was Zombieville, and Mark Introduced me to that.
Zombieville was fun.
Zombieville
Man.
was awesome. Yeah.
Zombieville.
You could pick a guy that looks like a clown, a ninja,
Yep.
a doctor, or a hillbilly.
You can play
And
that
you-
game for hours, dude.
Yeah, you could just go around blasting zombies. You would hide inside other houses, and when you
Yep.
hide inside houses, it would give you ammunition and stuff like that. It was a pretty fun game.
The only thing is, once you reach like level 30, you start getting those. You start getting those zombies.
The ones that like take forever to kill, they're like gray or whatever.
Yeah,
They're-
like the gray
yeah.
ones. They got like
They're
the
gray ones.
really really bright red eyes.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
tanks. They're
Oh
tanks. You can't kill them, dude.
yeah.
You got to get the rocket launchers, and they only get you'd be lucky to have like 20 missiles in the rocket launcher at one time, and it's like sometimes it would take like 3 hits
Right.
with the missiles just to kill one of them. But yeah, that's a fun game.
It is a really fun game.
Oh, hey, look at man, Zio's bringing in the classics. Temple Run.
Whoa. Okay, that was a time killer. 2017, 2016.
Yeah, Temple Run was fun.
Yeah,
That was
I don't
back
think-
when I
I
was.
never had it. I never had it on my phone, but Nick, my brother, had it, and I remember playing it on there.
yeah.
one
That was a game that I was at least able to survive a couple minutes for. So that I love that one. I think there's a sequel too, right? Temple Run
Yep.
2. Where there's like more maps or whatever. So yeah, that was,
they probably added some kind of like currency thing, or I think they had that in the first one too.
yeah. Well, yeah, no, if I'm not mistaken, I think they did because I think I re-downloaded Temple Run 2 some years ago because I thought it looked cool. And so you would if you wanted your game to load faster, you would have to watch an ad in order to get back to gameplay.
Yeah,
So-
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
it was
oh,
pretty,
it is on all those mobile games.
yeah,
God
that's
damn.
now, yeah.
Yeah, you try to play anything Angry Birds related in
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
every damn level. Shit, if
Yeah.
you lose and you gotta restart, you get an ad anyway. Fuck you. Like-
It's funny you say that because my mom, she absolutely loves Candy Crush, and whenever you get to the point where you have to pay, my mom's always going like, "This is so stupid. Why the hell should I have to pay for this? It's a
Oh,
game
yeah.
to be able to play the full thing all the way through." But yeah, I mean, you could like pay for all of those games now. So
Oh yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but I'm at about 3%.
That's all
So
right.
if I cut out,
yeah,
We are probably about done anyways because we are at like an hour and 13.
yeah, this was a good.
Hey,
This was a good cast.
guys,
yeah, no, it's pretty
awesome.
good seeing you.
If you haven't already and you're new to this, like, share, and subscribe.
Do it.
Love to have you on here for more of these.
Do
Hey,
it.
we're having fun. We hope everybody is too.
Yeah.
So
So-
that's the end of this podcast. More to come.
And like we did last time, I wanted to throw a question out there, and this time I'll do it on the cast. If any of you viewers have any game suggestions or just reminisce old
Yeah.
school games, you remember
Old
being young,
school
you remember
games.
doing this, whatever.
Yeah.
Let us
don't-
know, please.
Don't stay
We
punk.
want to hear your stories. You heard some of our stories. Now you share some of yours because that's what makes growing up great. You know, is having stories.
We're gonna take your
So-
stories and put them in the vault.
Yes, into the vault. Deep,
Yeah, guys. As
deep into
always,
the vault.
Put
Yeah,
the
Yes,
whole
crevices.
hand in there.
And wow, stick that shit in there.
You heard it first.
You heard it from Perez. All right.
Don't let me scare you away. All right.
All right, guys.
Trending.